Adding fractions with variables on page 270. The example of the procedures here, a over b plus c over d. The common denominator, just like in adding fractions and subtracting fractions, we're going to need to combine b and d. The example here is 2 times 5, common denominator 10. So we'll have to multiply the x by the 5 and the y by the 2, leaving us with 5x plus 2y over 10. We take it to a new level, something we just did like the FOIL method, and we've got a common denominator of 12, and you can see that here. So we're going to multiply the 4 by the x plus 4, and then multiply the 3 to the other binomial, x minus 3, and then we're going to combine like terms if we can, right? And then come up with a simplification of this. So 4 times x plus 4 is 4x plus 16. And the other binomial, 3 times x minus 3 is 3x minus 9. Combining like terms within the numerator gives us 7x plus x over 12. And the problems below, you've got one like it. Actually, you got two like it. The challenge problem is good. All right, good luck. And we're going to move on to page 271. 271 is subtracting fractions with variables. So great, you understand the adding, subtracting exactly the same. What we're doing is finding a common denominator and multiplying either side by the number that they are missing for the balance. So in this case of the example, 3 and 5, common denominator is 15. So the 5 is multiplied into the x, the 3 is multiplied into the x, leaving us with 5x minus 3x, combining like terms, 2x over 15. Now we're going to take it to another level like we did the addition. We're going to have a binomial here, and we've got the common denominator with a denominator 3 and 2 is 6. So we're going to multiply 2 times the x and 3 times the binomial x plus 2. And then we're going to subtract it all. So 2x minus 3x minus 6 over 6. And then combine terms, minus x minus 6 over 6. So I know the numbers don't end up looking perfect, but these are just expressions. Go ahead and finish the 3 problems. You also have a 4th challenge problem, and good luck. And we'll move on to multiplication and division. Multiplying fractions with variables. That we're going to use the same procedures as when we multiply just normal fractions. Numerator, numerator, denominator, denominator, as you can see in the example of these procedures. The difference here is when you end up with a 3 on the numerator and a 3 on the denominator, and they're both multiplication, you can actually cancel out both those 3's now. You don't have to wait and reduce it later on. So that's what I did here. So 3x times 3x times x is 3x squared over 3 times the x minus 2, the binomial. So we're going to cancel those two 3's out, leaving us with x squared over x minus 2. Go ahead and do the 3 problems. The challenge problem is a lot like the example problem. We'll move on to division, same thing. 273 is division, dividing fractions with variables. If you remember, with division, the second term is flipped over, and then you can multiply them together, or you can cross multiply with division, which is cool, okay? So in the example of the problem, we've got a over b divided by c over d, flipping the c over d to d over c, leaving ad divided by bc. Now, normal division using the reciprocal of the second fraction, in this next example, we have x over 3 divided by 2/3. So to prove this also, you've got x third times the reciprocal, 3 halves, and that is 3x over 6, which is x over 2 when you start to cancel and simplify. 3/6 is 1/2. However, you can do it prior to that. So simplify your fractions with cross multiplication only when the numerator is a factor of the denominator. And here the number 3 is cross-canceled out of our fraction because 3 divided by 3 is 1. Remember that whole x over x is 1. This is where that comes into play again. As you know, cross multiplication can be used when dividing fractions, and it proves it here. So this is a really good page to understand. Go ahead and simplify and factor the next 3 problems, and then we will move on. All right, good luck.